Hi, how are you? My name is Haley of Mothchild Cosplay, and it's been a little bit since I've actually sat down and made a proper cosplay vlog, so we've got a little bit to catch up on, I'd say, you know, like moderate to severe level of catching up to do. The first thing I guess I'll continue on with is the armor. I've been working on my Zora Magdaros armor from Monster Hunter World, and this week I made time to sit down and do some of the more detail-oriented painting. I don't really care for painting, so I tend to put this off for as long as possible, but I've kind of hit a point in this build where if I don't do everything else, like I can't, like the build's not gonna happen. As you guys know, I've got this really cool stone textured spray paint, which I've been using for all of the gray, and then just going in with like enamel paints for the silver and acrylic for this brown, and then this predominant color, this sort of red, which is featured on quite a few different pieces. And this took an embarrassingly long time to do because I hate painting. I'm not very efficient at painting, and frankly, I'm not super good. So all of the shadow and stuff is done with an airbrush. I'm also super excited because I did a fucking awesome job color matching the paint to this vinyl that I picked up. So like here's this red armor piece and here's this red vinyl. All of the belts for this costume I've made myself. I'm super excited about them. They actually look really, really solid. These also took an embarrassingly long time, but it's mostly because your girl's an idiot. So one of the things that I kind of pay attention to is like knowing when the back of a piece will be seen, whether it's on accident or on purpose. And so I took the like last 15 inches of this belt and I put more vinyl on the back. So when I did this, I super glued it because I just felt like that would be super quick. The only issue with that though is that super glue makes it to where things aren't able to stretch or flex as much. So when I would my eyelet puncher and punch holes and then try and push the eyelets into the holes would not stretch to accommodate the eyelets. I got pretty good at weathering this stuff. Once again, I used my airbrush. Can you tell that I really like airbrushing things? I can, because I use my airbrush a lot. And then the belts have lots of little pouches and stuff. This is the little case that I made for my phone. It's like the perfect size, and it just holds with Velcro. You can just put them in there. These little tassels I made myself using embroidery floss. And I feel like it's just small little details like that that really make a build. Another thing that I forgot to mention but I feel makes vinyl look really realistic is sitting down and taking some sort of black marker and going along the edges and lining it in black. So I did that to like all of the edges of this vinyl belting, and it took forever and I hated it, and it made my fingertips black and it was not very fun. But what was pretty fucking fun though was making my carving knife. So the carving knife is this tiny little knife. I say tiny, but honestly it's pretty large in terms of knife sizing. And this is the one that I made. I made this guy in less than 24 hours, actually almost exactly a week ago. He is made out of balsa wood, which is a super duper light and easy to work with. Literally was able to cut this out with an X-Acto knife and then sand everything by hand. You know, I didn't need any special tools. I didn't need any special hardware, or like for finishing the surface of the balsa wood, I elected to use wood glue instead of lacquer because lacquer just takes a little bit longer to dry than wood glue does. So that definitely helps shave off some time. For the paint job on this part, I really, really wanted to have it sort of look like it's bone. So I used like tans and ochre and sort of brownish colors, and my airbrush once again because I'm a slut for the airbrush. And then this vinyl wrapping on the handle was once again like super simple but super fun. These little baubles were made using oven-baked clay, and I just think a little pop of color will be really fun, and it just adds a little bit of character to this character. I also worked with some of the strapping for the armor. One of the big things that I kept thinking about are the leg, namely the knee guard. So originally I was thinking that I would be wearing thigh highs with this costume. And as I was walking around, I remembered, holy shit, thigh highs slip down. I can't trust them. So what do I want to do? Do I want to do like maybe some garters or something to help keep them up? Do I maybe want to just like scrap the whole leg armor in general? So what I eventually decided on doing, there was this fad where there were garter leggings. And typically the garter part was in like the front and the back. And I was like, you know, that's pretty cool, but what if I did the garter on the side? And this is what I came up with. You cannot really see or tell what they are, but essentially I went to Target and I took a pair of leggings, the cheapest ones I could find, and I put them on and I drew where I wanted the sock portion to be and like the general shape of the connecting bit. And then I just went and stitched them there. It's not like super pretty. They don't really need to be super pretty. Nobody's going to be seeing this far up. And if you're wondering why literally nobody will ever see my leg armor, it's because this duster is stupidly long and covers everything. I keep going back and forth about what the fuck to call this. I got all the skirt panels finished. As you can see, they are not embroidered. If you're wondering what I ended up going with for these large symbols, I elected to go with fabric spray paint. Did you know such a thing existed? I did. I also sewed some fringe onto this bitch. Look at her. Look at how cool. This fringe actually started out as 3-inch long fringe that I just got off of eBay. And then to get this really, really cool triangular jagged cut effect, I sat down and I laid packaging tape over top of everything so I could still see all the fibers. Then I took a silver Sharpie and I drew the shapes that I needed. And I took some fabric scissors and just cut. Anyway, the last big update for this week is the prop that I've chosen for my Monster Hunter outfit. I don't remember the name of it right now, but it is a really cool longsword, and I made the blueprint for it. Here it is! It's the big boy, and I actually scaled it down because in-game it's like 6 feet long, but I don't have the means to make that. A friend of mine, Bobby, who is a wonderful knife maker, I will link his Instagram down in the description below. He makes awesome custom knives, and if you want a quality blade, talk to him. Do it. He is lending me his belt sander while him and his wife go on vacation. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to bust that guy out like super quick because of just the overall length and the width of the bevel. I really want to use the belt sander. After trying to get large portions of EVA foam nice and smooth with Dremel, I don't want to do that. I just don't. That was a waste of time. It didn't work out. It's not efficient and it's not good. It's not a good look. So I'm going to go get back to work now, get some of this creative energy out of my system. Massive, massive shout out to all of my patrons, but especially Chloe, CJ Rose Cosplay, Things Shall Get Loud Now, Nicole, and Robin. You guys are wonderful and I appreciate you all so, so, so much. I hope you have a wonderful and creative and rejoiceful week. Is rejoiceful a word? It is now, motherfucker.